In the meantime, Raila Odinga's supporters are celebrating the announcement made by the politician that he will make his fifth bid for Kenyan presidency in next year's elections. The announcement ends months of suspense following a surprise truce with his former foe, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Joining us tonight to discuss Raila Odinga's fifth bid for the top job in Kenya is Ademola Oshodi, an African affairs analyst. Good evening to you, Mr. Oshodi, and thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Good evening.
Now, veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga has launched his fifth bid for Kenya's presidency, but this time with the support of his former foe, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Do you think by this his political fortune is about to change for the better? And how big is an endorsement from a sitting president when it comes to elections in Africa?
Thank you. It doesn't get better than an endorsement from an incumbent in any election, whether in Africa or in the West or anywhere. But it is very, very positive for Odinga, his fifth term. Many times in Kenya, there's always this backdoor deals going on. There's always this backroom deals whereby somebody steps down or somebody becomes prime minister. Because when Odinga won, or he presumably won in the election in 2008, I believe, with the rioting and the thousands, hundreds of people that have died, he was offered the position of prime ministership. And this has been a general thing in Kenyan election, whereby there's always horse trading. Somebody steps down for the other. There are three major tribes there. He's one of those major tribes that has not been given the opportunity to lead Kenya. He's from the Luo ethnic group. This may be an opportunity for them to become the president of the country. So this is a positive sign for him regardless.
Yeah, but times have changed, and I believe Africa has moved the needle quite a bit when it comes to politics of ethnicity. The president, the former prime minister, will be running against heavyweight Musalia Mudavadi, and there are quite a number of political alliances in Kenya, and also let's not forget the current vice president to President Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, has also declared his intention to run for the highest office in the land. Do you think this will it still matter, or it might just be a walk in the park?
Well, I do believe again, it's going to be horse trading. The three major tribes, all represented by the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, and his vice president from a different ethnic group, and we have Odinga from the lower ethnic group. These three groups jostle for power. So there may be some unwritten or written understanding that power should shift hand to a different group. The vice president is also very ambitious. He's actually partnered with Odinga in the past. And this is quite, we're quite odd to see how they do the political alignment in Kenya. They may have some sort of surprise lined up for us, which we may find the vice president taking over as the president and Odinga becoming vice president. Well, it's just for us to watch out and see how things turn. The most important thing for observers and political analysts is to ensure Kenya does not come back to another bloodbath post-election with one party basically stealing the election from the other. That's probably the biggest concern for international observers, and I hope for Kenyans to caution about.
And the world will definitely be watching events in Kenya next year. And I'm happy you mentioned that, Mr. Oshodi. There's always that specter of that violence might happen, post-election violence in Kenya, because it's politics in Kenya is quite big and the emotions run high and people are very powerful. Mr. Raila Odinga, this is his fifth run for the presidency. Why is he is always on the ballot box? Is there something that he wants to change about the destiny of Kenyans, or is it personal for somebody? We've seen it happen in other places. The current president of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, he won on his fourth attempt. Nigeria's president ran more than 3 times, I believe. So what is it about this guys that are always on the ballot box? Is it a selfless service to the people, or is it personal?
4 reasons. 4 reasons. The first reason is basically representing his ethnic group, giving the Luos the opportunity to lead Kenya. I don't believe they've ever done that before. That's the first reason. Second reason, obviously, is ego. All politicians are egoistic and believe they're the best thing that happened to them, and they believe they can make a difference. They can do something good for the country, and they believe they have skills and mastery to change the country for the better. So that's second. The third reason is the fact that his father was a vice president once in Kenya under Jomo Kenyatta. So he believes he's tasted power, his family has tasted power, and this is an opportunity for him to take what is owed to his family in certain cases. They are right as leaders of Kenya. And the fourth final reason is basically something that is rather personal to him. He probably saw that he was cheated out of the 2008 election with Nwa Mbaki, which caused a bloodbath. So he feels as if this is something that he deserves, has worked hard for, and he was sidelined. So that's must be a lingering feeling for him there. These are things that he wants to go back and accomplish.
Now, Mr. Oshodi, before I let you go, elections are a civil and civic exercise. People go out there to exercise their constitutional rights to choose a leader of their choice. Why does it seem that elections in Africa are highly militarized? You hear even in Nigeria that they've deployed thousands of soldiers there. At what point do we begin to see this as a civil and civic exercise and not a winner-takes-all politics? Why does there seem to be a specter of bloodbath hanging post-elections?
Well, it's basically the same around the world, and I don't think it should be unfairly pointing out to Africa. You can notice what happened in America with Donald Trump. He tried to basically compromise elections and ensure he was returned as president. It happens in many other major democracies where, after during the time of election and after election, there's always chaos or rioting or issues in dispute of the election. So Africa is still an emerging democracy. It's still an emerging country. Democracy is relatively new, so to speak, from the 60s. The West has had their own experiences for 200 years. Britain, you can go back to 2015 with the Magna Carta. So it's still a process for Africa, and we've had decades of military rule. So this is it's still a growing thing for us. The most important thing is to ensure that there's progress in each election. They can put so many troops out. They can budget so much money as the Nigerian Independent Electoral Commission is doing for the elections in Nigeria. But it's to ensure that institutions work, ensure that the justice system works for everybody. If you rig elections, you'll be held accountable. If you kill during elections, you'll be held accountable. If you bribe, if you do anything to subvert the will of the people, the voters, you should be held accountable. So if the institutions are strong, media, social media, print media,
civil society,
everything's are put in place, elections will progress and will be better at each stage of our political development.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ademola Oshodi, for joining us on NC Continental Prime. We appreciate your insights.
Thank you.